Hey guys, Chew5 here. Welcome to the podcast. We're going to start talking off with Incredibles 2 teaser trailer. I forgot when Incredibles 1 came out. It was like, what, 11 years ago? Bruh, it's been forever. But the teaser trailer, I never really liked teaser trailers because they're trailers for trailers. They should just come out with the trailer. Just like show me the trailer or show me nothing. But I like this teaser trailer. So, it starts off with Jack going through a wall, going through it. So it's not the wall that has the power, but Jack has the power. So he has permeability. So what that means is he could go through stuff. So in the beginning of the trailer, you can see him. You can see him go through the wall. I guess you could say he's like leaning against the wall. And then he just falls through the wall and then lands on all fours and then it's dragging his feet through. And then one of his feet get caught. And then that's how you know it's his power, not the wall. That's, it's not like a force field wall. It's him, his power, permeability. Now he's hella OP now. Permeability. Like what else? So in Incredibles 1, he already had shape-shifting. He had turned into fire, freaking the Human Torch. Turn into whatever kind of metal it is, what silver, metal, whatever it is, and turn into a little devil dude, pretty dope. And now he has permeability. And then at the end, so he falls through the wall in the trailer. Going back to the teaser trailer, he falls through it, permeability, goes through the wall, he lands in all fours, his foot gets stuck, and then he walks towards the. It's like 30 seconds long. And he was walking towards something and looks up to it. And then as he's looking up, he has laser eyes like Superman or freaking Cyborg. Not Cyborg. Oh, what's his name? The one from X-Men? Cyclops. Fuck it. But yeah. So, fuck, how many is that? So, I forgot which one was first. Was it fire first? And then he turned in Incredibles 1, he turned into fire. Little fireball. Then he turned into metal because then he like freaking became heavy, almost fell. And then it turned into a little devil dude. So that's three. So he could transform three, and I'm assuming he could transform into more. Maybe he could turn into water and shit, or rock, become the thing or it, whatever it's called from Fantastic Four. And now he has permeability, and I lost count. Permeability and laser eyes. Freaking, so he's walking towards Incredibles, just a OG Incredibles logo. And then he's looking up with his laser eyes, and then he cuts the eye into the Incredibles 2 logo. You know how Incredibles 2 logo is just cut in half, and then a little dot. And then, yeah, so that's how the Incredibles 2 logo got started. Jack just burning it. And then, bro, what's his name? The dad. What's the name? Mr. Incredible. What's his name? Something. I forgot. Parr. Something Parr. It'll come back to me. Give me about an hour. It'll come back to me. Yeah, so he picks him up. He's like, "Yeah, you have powers." Yeah, picks him up, and then freaking Jack burns his freaking hair down the center right here. Burns his hair down the center, so he's got like the reverse mohawk. So I found that kind of cool. I'm really excited. Jack's hella OP now with permit. He was OP before, right? You turned into fire, freaking whatever you fire, the little devil dude, and metal. I mean, that's OP as it is. And then now you're giving him laser eyes and freaking permeability. Permeability alone is a freaking OP as fucking ability. Now, if you guys watch any anime or any other stuff like that, permeability is pretty OP. One of the most common one, or closest one, would be Naruto. What's his name? Obito? Or fuck, what was his name when he had the mask? He had like one eye and it was all like swirls. I forgot his name. Toby. Naruto. Toby. So you know how they couldn't hit him because he would send his body to another dimension because he had the Sharingan. But I think an even better representation of permeability would be Boku no Hero Academia. One of the characters, his name is Lemillion. Dude's a fucking savage. Dude's a savage, all right. So you get introduced to him. You know, he's when you first see him, it's like, oh, you only see like this half and shit. You only see the back of his hair, you know, and it's like a little ominous. It's like, oh, he's gonna be like really strong, and he fucking is. He really is. And then he takes on the whole class. So the whole basis off this Boku no Hero Academia. It's an anime. The whole basis is the universe. Either there's heroes or villains, and everyone you're either born with a quirk or not. Quirk is pretty much your power. A quirk or not, and there's almost everyone and their mom has a quirk. I'd say like 90% of the population. I'd say they don't say how many what the population is, or maybe they did, and I in case you haven't noticed, I don't have the best memory, but fuck it, yellow. So, anyways, you know, so that's the whole basis. So the main character is a student at a high school where they teach you how to learn, where they teach you about your powers and stuff. So the main character, he's a freshman, and this Lemillion guy who has permeability as his main thing is a senior or a third year, because I guess in Japan they only have 3 years or something. I don't know. Seems like all the animes there's only like 3 years, and here in US we have 4 year high school. I don't get it. I'm not Japanese. Fuck it. So, anyways, yeah. So it's a third year. So he takes on the whole class. That's like when the main character gets first introduced to this third year. He get the third year pretty much just challenges the whole class. They're like, oh hey, you know, this is this guy. You know, the better way for him, instead of him talking, doing the usual. Oh hey guys, work hard, determination, set a goal. You know, instead of all that bullshit, he's all like, could I just fight him one versus everyone, me versus everyone, and then fucking fights him and just kicks everyone's ass? No, you're probably thinking, oh, with permeability, you know, there's weaknesses with it. Because no one could touch him. The long distance, short distance, the fighters, they try to get long distance. He freaking wrecked everyone. Because you can't hit him. So my thinking and the thinking of the main character was the same thinking as how they got Toby from Naruto, is pretty much like a counterattack, like waiting until they're about to touch you and then counterattack. Kind of like, yeah, like if you've seen Naruto, if you've seen Toby, you know what I mean? Or, you know, just thinking about it, like, oh, you can't touch me, you know, like if I were to try to slap myself, my hand goes through it, like you can't touch me, but like I have to be solid in order for me to hit you. So what do? You wait a counterattack. So that's what the main character does. So he freaking does the counterattack. He works with someone else counterattack. So he's about to punch someone. And then, oh, I forgot how it goes. So the main character like punches through him. So he punches through him, and then he does like permeability through his hand, and then he grabs him. So he still solidifies this part of his hand while still permeability with this part. So the main character's punch is going through him, but at the same time he's able to solidify somewhere else, and then just grabs him, tosses him, kicks his ass. That's OP. And so if you like, what do you have against it? You can't hit him. You can't. What are you gonna do? Freeze him? You're gonna freeze him, and then he's gonna walk through the freaking frozen sheet in front of him. Now we're gonna do burn him. That might work. Well, he has permeability. So the main character in this one, he pretty much goes through the floor to travel like from here to over there, from like here to over there, from like here to here, like pretty much, or but like imagine like far and shit, like across the room. Like if I were to get from here, like and this room was like 100 yards and share across the field, somewhere far, he goes through the ground, and his explanation is when he goes through something solid, like big and solid, like the freaking ground, like Earth, he just pops up, like the ground just pops him back up. So that's why permeability is hella OP just by itself. So now Jack, going back to Incredibles 2, wrapping all this up, somehow this all makes sense. In the Incredibles 2, so Jack with permeability, it's gonna be hella OP. Hella OP. Now I've heard some rumors about, I've read some rumors online about Jack. One of them, which I really don't like, is since he's little, he's experiencing all these powers, but he's only gonna be able to keep one, which I think is bullshit. It's freaking bullshit, man. He should be able to keep all of them. because he's pretty OP as it is. I mean, I guess it's a good way to nerf him if he only gets to keep one. Why would you want to nerf Jack? He's like what, 2, 3 years old? Can't even talk. Can't even talk yet. 1 year old. He's like 1 year old. Can't even talk. Come on. Can't do that to my man. Fucking Jack. Jack is a beast. He's gonna be a savage, bro. He's gonna be a savage. So that shows permeability. And then he still has fire and all the other stuff. Fire, metal. You know, I guess as the situation arises, he could just change to whatever he needs to be. And on top of that, he has permeability. So what the... I wonder if he could combine them. And no, going back to the rumor, another rumor we had is Jack of all trades, which means Jack of all trades. You know, just fuck it. So he has all of them. Yeah, so really excited about Incredibles 2. I typically don't like teaser trailers, but this is like a teaser trailer done right, where they showed some character development, and they showed character development hype without revealing too much. And the quality of the freaking teaser trailer, man. Excuse me. Quality of the teaser trailer was so good. I mean, it's a what is it, cartoon? I don't want to call it a cartoon, but I guess it is an animation. It's an animation, so it could only get so good because it's like a cartoony style. It's not trying to be like an Avatar where it's animation but real, like a CGI. But since it's animation, they got the still from what the hell's his name? Bob Parr, aka Mr. Incredible, holding up Jack, and then they got the still, you know, when he's holding him up sideways, and then they freaking zoom in, and you can see the freaking like the lint. Like if like you were to zoom in to this shirt or to the sweater or to this freaking whatever the hell this is, a chair, you zoom in and you'd see the like every knit, every detail. And that freaking dude, Pixar is freaking savage, man. Fuck. It's pretty good. And no wonder it's taking forever. I forgot how long it's been. I have the internet in front of me. I could Google it, but I really don't want to. Anyways, yeah. So I'm hoping with Incredibles 2 that they continue doing the Incredibles, just because there's so much character development, and it's just such an open world that they could explore. Because Incredibles 1, it was like a refresh of the heroes, essentially. And it could essentially be a Boku no Hero Academia where, you know, it's a world full of heroes. Like now that the Incredibles are out, you know, and they're gonna get all this media attention, maybe that's gonna spawn more heroes, and then more heroes is gonna spawn more villains, and then from there you just open up a whole world, and they could go anywhere from here. They could freaking continue on with movies, or they can make series out of this. And yeah, they could go anywhere with this. And maybe it's, I guess I don't want to say too overdone, because there's only so many ways you could have a fire person, a fire type. Because, you know, there's fire type in One Piece. There's a fire type in pretty much every anime or cartoon or pretty much any action where it has an element or some sort of fire, you know, like fire. There's only so much way you could do a fire character, someone who has a fire power. There's only so much way you could do air, but like in anime and manga, there's just, even though they're the same, there's like so much creativity among the authors. So if they get someone really creative behind it, it could really go, it could really branch out to be a really good series. I want to see it kind of go to the way of Boku no Hero Academia, where it's a bunch of heroes and they all have like their own weird little quirks, but I don't think it's going to go that way, because so far everyone has a pretty, except for Jack, everyone has a pretty basic quirk or ability. Unlike if you see One Piece, where the main character Luffy is rubber, all right, and then like there's another character whose legs are springs, and and you know, and so forth and so forth. And so far, we haven't seen anything awkward like that. But I really like anime for that because they really their creativity with quirks and just coming up with weird stuff. Like in Boku no Hero Academia, there's a hero. He's like in the same class as the main character, and his quirk is tape coming out of his elbows. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that guy. If I had a superpower, I would not want to have tape coming out of my elbows. Or there's this other character, same class. He's like short. He's short, and his hair is a bunch of purple, freaking circles, globs, balls, whatever you want to call them, sticky balls. And that's pretty much his power. He just takes off his hair, which is just, you know, imagine no hair, but it's just circles, just balls. Just purple balls all up on his head. It sounds bad, but yeah. Purple balls all up on his head. So he takes off a ball and everything, just throws it, and that ball sticks based on his stamina. And it sticks, and you can't take it off just based on based on the character's stamina. Like, who would think of that? Like, oh yeah, just give this character's hair freaking purple balls. And his signature move, because at one point they all had to come up with a signature move and name it. He named his Grape Rush. Very appropriate. He would just pretty much just rush and then throw, so you wouldn't move. Throw all the balls and then you'd get stuck. And he passed that test. I suggest you watch it. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, but if they get someone really creative behind Incredibles 2, I think it'd turn out really, really great. But yeah, that's where I'm hoping Incredibles 2. I'm really excited for Incredibles 2. And then now, and to stay on the topic of movies, I saw Thor Ragnarok. It was alright. It was good, but I don't think you need to see it to, or maybe I would wait until it comes out on like Apple TV or whatever. Or if you're a freaking pirate, just you're gonna pirate anyways. But I liked it because I enjoyed it because I like action and action movies, and not so much, you know, dramas and stuff like that. I really like action, like John Wick, and John Wick 2. That's my shit right there. That's the shit. But Thor Ragnarok, I mean, it was good. It had its moments. I felt like it was a little unnecessary for the story development heading into Infinity War, simply because he lost his hammer. I mean, spoilers alert, he lost his hammer. If you see it in the freaking trailer, by the way. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk more about the movie. So, go fuck yourself. Anyway, spoiler alert, again. Thor Ragnarok. If you haven't seen it, I like it just because of, you know, the Hulk, him and the Hulk, you know, as they're pretty much the main characters, both of them, not just Thor. But I feel like lately they've just been trying too hard on the jokes, and Thor is like one of those where they tried too hard on the jokes just because Guardians of the Galaxy was really successful because I had, like, you know, those little jokes and stuff. And I think it all started with Avengers with the jokes, but then they just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And that's pretty much where Thor Ragnarok is. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's better than the second Thor, whatever it was called, Dark World or whatever the fuck it was called. I don't like it. I don't like the second one. The first one's all right. I understand the first one. The first one was a safe movie, if that makes sense. The second one is like they tried too hard. And then the third one is like they tried too hard to be funny. Don't get me wrong, the action was great. I wish I would have seen more fighting between Thor and his sister, Elena, you know, the main villain. More fighting, but it seemed rather unnecessary. And the main part, because for me, I don't feel like he got any stronger. He got rid of I felt like he was stronger with his hammer rather than, you know, minus a knife, minus a hammer, but now he has thunder. Like, what if he meets someone who thunder really doesn't affect them? You know, but in the past, you know, he'd just smash him with a hammer, but now he doesn't have his hammer, so what's he gonna do? He's just gonna punch him? Because he's strong, like the Hulk, which is fine, but Thor had a hammer, and now he doesn't have a hammer. Which I'm really curious. I'm wondering if there's gonna be like you know, the people. There's like someone in the background that we haven't seen yet, or maybe we saw like, oh, maybe you just saw him like for like a flash in the first one, and they're gonna make him another hammer or whatnot. But you see him in the Infinity War trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer for Infinity War, what's wrong with you? Anyways, you see Thor kind of trying to turn off the switch or the portal or something. Like there's this big old circle, you know, the big old um, teleportation thing, circle thing, and it looks like Thor's in there trying to turn it off just with brute strength. So I have a feeling he's not going to be a big part of Infinity War. Maybe he'll have a bigger part in the second one. Sounds like he's just doing, you know, like, oh, he's just trying to shut it down. He's just a distraction in this, and the main fighters are going to be all the other ones, you know, like Black Panther, Iron Man, and Captain America, and the Hulk. But, but yeah, I really didn't like how they had Thor. Now he doesn't have. I kind of like it. It's weird because I don't like it, but I kind of like it as well. But I would like it more if Thor Ragnarok ended by Thor Thor essentially killing or immobilizing his sister instead of like, having someone else do it. Because we really don't see how much he progressed because he really didn't fight his sister for that long. Like in both cases, like he got his ass kicked right away. They had to run away, and then he got his ass kicked pretty much right away when he freaking fought her the second time without an eye. So it's like you really didn't see him progress or get any stronger, which makes sense because I mean the movie takes course in what 3 days or whatever it is, 3 4 days. Like everything happens in like 2 days, and then I forgot how long he stays on the one random planet, on the garbage planet, but or Planet Hulk. But yeah, I felt like maybe they should have done a time skip. That's an interesting idea. A time skip, kind of like how One Piece did it. One Piece just did a time skip, a 2 year time skip, and everyone came back hella strong, and they're still getting stronger, but they're getting their ass kicked, but getting stronger at the same time because they're getting their ass kicked, but they're already strong to begin with. Because now the reason for the time skip in One Piece is because they so there was I guess there's this beginning part of the sea. Because if you haven't seen One Piece, I don't know what's wrong with you. If you haven't seen One Piece, it's a pretty much a pirate show where there's a group of pirates. The main characters left. It's pretty much a pirate world, and every pirate crew, you know, is battling to be the number one pirate, aka the Pirate King, and looking for the treasure that the previous Pirate King left, and he left it at One Piece. Hence the name One Piece. Yeah, so the main character, you know, it's the whole story is getting. Anyways, what I'm getting to is there's a small part right here, a small part of the ocean, and pre-time skip, they're working their way, you know, kicking ass, and then like towards the end of the pre-time skip, they're getting their asses. They're winning, but they're still getting their ass kicked. Like they're barely winning, and then they get to here, and then from here it's this even bigger part of the ocean over here where there's freaking monsters and killers. So what the captain does is like, hey, we're gonna take 2 years off from each other, and we're just gonna train like a motherfucker, which is the best thing that they could have done. Because if they would have gone from here, from you know this small piece of the ocean for where they were going into, to here, they're gonna get their asses kicked. They're gonna get their asses whooped. It would have been a completely different anime. The anime would have cut off right here. So, you know, all this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's jump straight into it. It would have gone like this far because they would have gotten their ass kicked right away. Like right away. And the captain knew that, and So they just split up, and the way they split up, obviously, oh well, not obviously, but he didn't split them up. They kind of they got split up, and coincidentally, they got split up to get for their power. So everyone has their own different power, and somehow they all ended up in a place where they could amplify their power and train their power. So they were all, as they all landed there, they were all trying to get back together. Like, oh, I need to get back. I need to get back. I need to get back. And then the captain's all like, you know what? I need to send out a message. He goes back to like some where they executed the pirate king. King's back, you know. And then he made sure all the newspapers and then writes on his arm, we're not meeting in 3 days. We're meeting in 2 years. Put it on his arm, and his army, and he knew that his crew was going to recognize it. His crew went from running away, not running away, but running back, to like looking around, and be like, "I'm gonna train here. Fuck it." So the swordsman lands with the strongest swordsman in the world. So he's training with him. Post time skip comes back with only one eye. So there's this whole one eye thing in fighting characters. I don't get it. Yeah, fighting with one eye. Getting back to the point, I just went on a big old tangent somewhere else. Getting back onto the point of Thor and all that. So I feel like that maybe they should have done a time skip. Like his sister comes, he gets his ass kicked, and if you guys seen it, he go. You guys know how he goes from planet to planet with a, and then he's like in a rainbow thing. Also, his sister kicks him or something like that, and then he goes somewhere else to a different dimension. Not a different dimension, but a different realm. Is that what he calls it? I feel like that's more of Game of Thronesy, but yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, but maybe he could have landed somewhere where he had a fight and then gotten his skills, which it could have happened. It could have happened, that time skip, and he could have gone a lot stronger. Why? Oh, I don't know. He's on a planet with the Hulk, who the Hulk can't go back to Bruce Banner for some strange reason, who hasn't been Bruce Banner, and which we found out was been since Avengers 2 to wherever, whatever time. I don't freaking know. How much is it? 2 months? 2 years? Something like that. But they could have done the time skip right there. Oh, I don't know. When could have they done time skip? I don't know when Hulk is all like, oh, I'm gonna go train now. I honestly thought that's what was gonna happen. Like, oh, perfect. Thor's gonna go train with him. Nope, Thor just stayed in the room. That's how I would have done. I would have had Thor training with the Hulk because they make each other better. Because they're equally matched with strength. So they could have just trained together, made each other stronger. Thor could have maybe done some different kind of training on the side leading up to the fight with the sister, to where he could harness his new thunder power, God of Thunder, where he could harness that. And then he could go and then fight his sister, and then maybe he doesn't win because post time skip in One Piece, he's not kicking everyone's ass, but technically he is because he's winning, but he's barely winning, which is fine by me because every time he barely won, he learned something. And right now, if you got spoiler alert, I don't know if anyone's really reading One Piece, but if you're not, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine, actually. You should go read it. But yeah, but if you're not reading it, let me tell you what's happening right now. Right now, he's getting his ass kicked. He's getting his ass kicked. He had to run away. But he ran away because he had to recharge. So he ran away, recharged. He figured out that this guy that he's fighting, who's one of the strongest people, I guess, in the arc right now, if not no, he's not the strongest, but the second strongest probably, and the arc. And he learned that this guy is using a special ability, and the main character discovers what this ability is, and he used it for a little bit. He used it, and then he wasn't able to use it that long because he's all like, oh, he's using this, let me try to use it. And then it worked for like 2 pages, which is like, which was 4 punches, I think it was. And then the other guy snapped back into it. And then he's all like, man, I gotta recharge. I need to practice this new ability. So that's what I like about One Piece. Like, even though he's getting his ass kicked right now, he's technically losing. He's gonna obviously all these characters win in the end, but every time he fights someone, he always learns something new. He always implements something new. He always figures something out to win, and that's kind of what I wanted for. That's kind of what I hope more animes and maybe the superheroes they incorporate in it. Like, yeah, they barely win, but then they're like, oh, the power of friendship, blah blah blah. Like, no, like there should be like, oh, I need to win, and then like, oh, oh, he's doing this, learning that. Maybe they're kind of doing that, but I don't feel like they are. Yeah, movie talk. But yeah, I'm excited for Infinity War. If is that what I've been calling Infinity War? It's Infinity War, right? Infinity War. Just cause man, there's so many characters gonna be in this fucking movie. Like what's this? How long is this movie gonna be? Like 5 hours? Jesus Christ! You got Iron Man, you got Spider Man, you got all the other. You got Captain America. I call those the big three. Captain America. I don't call them the big three. I don't call them big three. Fuck that. So you got Iron Man for sure. You got Thor. Where you got Guardians of the Galaxy in here. Like what the fuck? And then you got Spider Man. Well, speaking of Spider Man, so how do I go about this? Because the FCC, fuck the FCC. If you know about that net neutrality, they're trying to fuck us over on the internet. But hopefully it all works out in the end. Because if it doesn't, then oh well, then we're all fucked, guys. Then no one's gonna watch this video because I'm not gonna pay for YouTube. What the fuck? I'm not gonna pay for Twitter and all the other shit. But anyways, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Marvel bought Fox Century 21. I think that's what it's called, Fox Century 21. So what that means is Marvel just bought pretty much anything Fox made. So that's Deadpool. And Deadpool, you know, Marvel Deadpool, you're like, Deadpool's like the complete opposite of what Marvel is, but it's fine. I hope. Because Marvel said that Deadpool is going to keep its R rating. Which is what makes Deadpool Deadpool. So you got to keep that R rating. So they're keeping the R rating for Deadpool. So hopefully nothing to worry about there. And hopefully we can introduce more X-Men now. Oh, X-Men. Yeah, that's right. Marvel has X-Men now. So now they could include some X-Men. Dope. X-Men. And some other random freaking characters. Oh, Fantastic Four. That's the main three I care about. Deadpool, Fantastic Four, X-Men. And then a bunch of random ones like Inhumans and like some other freaking random ass shit that I've never heard of. But yeah, freaking Marvel bought those. And I hope I can't wait. Because was it the last Fantastic Four movie where they had Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch, and I forgot who else was in that movie? Who else was in that movie? That's like the only person I recognized in that movie. The girl who played the Invisible Girl, she seemed kind of cute, but I actually never watched that movie because of how many bad reviews it got. So hopefully Marvel has a good track record right now, especially for buying other super like Spider-Man. Like I said, how many Spideys was this the third Spidey? So we had everyone's favorite Toby, and then Andrew Garfield, who did a good job, and then no one liked the second one, right? No one liked this. Yeah, that's the one. No one liked the second one because it had freaking. I already forgot what the hell happened in the second one. Oh, they freaking So in the first Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, the one Spider-Man before this Spider-Man, but not to the other Spider-Man, before this Spider-Man. So in the first Spider-Man, you know, they killed off what's her name, Gwen Stacy's dad. So he dies, you know, in the first Spider-Man. Gwen Stacy's like, oh, and blah, 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 blah. You know? And then in the second one, they kill off Gwen Stacy. Like, what the fuck? How are you gonna kill off the main character's freaking love interest? Like, do you want the series to end? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, that whole movie was. I don't know, man. There was so much, and then you had fucking Jamie Jamie Foxx as what was his name? The electric dude? Did he have a name? I'm gonna call him Electrode. Pretty sure that's a Pokemon. Call him Electrode. Electrobuzz. Yeah, they had him, and then they Rhino, and then they had. It pretty much suffered the same fate as Spider-Man 3, even though honestly I like Spider-Man 3, but it's kind of suffered the same fate where they had too many characters. Because, in Spider-Man 3, they had Venom, they had the Sandman, and I think they had one more. The Green Goblin? I think it was in there too, right? Yeah. But yeah, they just try to get too greedy, and I think that's what happened in the second one, because they had the second, what did they have? Oh, I think Rhino for like 2 minutes, a minute at most, or 2 minutes at most, 1 minute probably. Like, okay. But yeah, but Spider-Man: Homecoming was a great movie. I think the only thing I didn't like about it from Spider-Man: Homecoming was Shocker, because I feel like Shocker. If you guys ever played the video games, because I grew up playing video games. Who didn't grow up playing video games? And Spider-Man. Oh, one of Spider-Man's Shocker. Like, he's one of the main villains in the Spider-Man universe. So, uh, so far we had two main villains from the universe. We had Rhino, but from the previous Spider-Man, not really a big villain, and then Shocker. And this one is all like that's sort of like a sidekick to the Vulture. And I don't think that's right. I think Shocker could have been, if done right, they could have been the main villain for a movie, but YOLO. But the whole movie was great. I like Spider-Man: Homecoming because everyone knows how Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man. I like how they didn't go to like, oh, he got bit by a spider. Guess what? That's how he became Spider-Man. Whoa, no way! Like, everyone knows freaking Spider-Man. I think everyone is just born, just out of the womb, freaking just going like this. Like as a baby. Everyone's just born with the freaking knowledge of Spider-Man. Freaking one of the most loved superheroes. And how could you not love Spider-Man? He's a beast. So yeah, so that I really like this Spider-Man Homecoming. I kind of wish that the spider on the spider on the suit was a little bit bigger. Because when I was watching the movie, I went to the theater, watched it. It seemed kind of small. Like, I love the suit. The suit, everything else was great. And then I like how the freaking spider comes off and it's like a little drone. So I like that part aspect, and I like that it's incorporated with Iron Man, so the suit is smart and shit. But yeah, so really excited for Infinity War, and for finally getting a good Fantastic Four, and Deadpool 2 comes out 2018. God damn it, chimichangas. Deadpool 2. So yeah, I think that's enough movie talk for now. Enough movie talk for now. Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, boy. So now let's get into sports, shall we? So let's get into sports. Now, one thing that I didn't realize that I kind of like noticed that it seems like across the board on the sports, you can't have sponsored sleeves, like arm sleeves. You can't have, like, if I were play, I couldn't have a sponsored arm sleeve. Like, in the NBA, I think it's fine. Like, if you play for one, like in the NBA, for example, J.R. Smith and someone else, they wore the Supreme sleeve. So J.R. Smith wore his like a freaking normal person on his arm sleeve, because that's where you're supposed to wear it. It's black and says Supreme on it. And some other NBA player wore it on his leg, his arm sleeve on his leg. I don't freaking know, man. These people. Yeah, I guess if you're in the NBA, you can do whatever you want. Because how many people get in the NBA, right? You can just do whatever you want. But J.R. Smith from the Cavs, freaking savage, bro. He does whatever he wants. Bro. Fucking what's his deal with Henny and shit? Like all he does is drink Henny and shit. Dude's a beast. J.R. Smith, Cavs, man. Fuck. LeBron James. Anyways, so sleeves. So yeah, so I didn't realize that was a thing, where sponsored sleeves is freaking. You get fined for that. So you get fined for that in the NBA. That also in volleyball you get fined for it too. So I'm thinking it's just illegal to wear sponsored sleeves just across the board across any professional sport. Because so the reason I bring this up because this guy, his name's Ivan Zaitsev. Freaking, he's a beast. He's a savage for Italy. He plays for Italy on the national team, and for the club team currently he plays for Sur Safety Perugia. So he plays for Italy now. So dude's just a fucking savage, man. Dude's a savage. One of my favorite players. So he's sponsored by Adidas. Okay, so yeah. So look, he's sponsored by Adidas, right? So during I think it was last year's or early on this year, 2017, during the it was a league championship too, where all the national teams had to play, where they all play against each other. I think it was the world championship, right? So the Italian team is sponsored by Mizuno. Now the team is sponsored by Mizuno, right? But Zaitsev himself, like himself, he's sponsored by Adidas. So in interviews, you see him all decked out in Adidas. You know, he has this Adidas sweaters and freaking Yeezys, man. Got a pair over there. Yeezys, you know. So he's sponsored by Adidas. In interviews, Adidas, but he plays in Adidas. Currently, he plays in the new D Rose. Oh no, in last year, not the new ones, but the previous D Rose. Like I don't know what model number it is, but they have Boost, right? For Boost his life. So he plays in D Rose. So the Italian team is sponsored by Mizuno, and he's sponsored by Adidas. Now there's an issue there, right? So he will not wear Mizunos because he's sponsored by Adidas. I mean, it's hard to go back, to be honest. Once you have that Boost life, it's hard to go back to any other shoe, right? And for those of you that don't know, Mizuno is I got a pair over there. Mizuno is a shoe brand or a shoe. It's a sport brand main focus on volleyball. Not really, because I've seen them do running shoes. Anyways, it's like another brand, but they're not like a Nike or Adidas. But they make volleyball shoes and anyways, like I said, sponsored by that. So he won't wear these Mizuno shoes. So he gets kicked off. This is the first time he gets fucking kicked off, man. He freaking... I forgot how many times he's been kicked off the Italian team because of stupid shit like this. But, so, they threatened to kick him off first. And then he's all like, bro, I'm going to wear my Boost. Come on, bro. So, and they're like, the Italian team is sponsored by Mizuno. You're going to wear Mizuno, all right? So he's all like, look, I'm going to give it a try. But he says he doesn't like Mizunos because it hurts his feet. Blah blah blah. Which fuck, dude's like 6'9". I think he's 6'9". He's fucking tall, you know. And then volleyball, there's a lot of jumping going on. So, like I said, it's hard to go back from Boost when you got this nice cushion. You're jumping up and down all the time. You know, wouldn't you want to have a comfortable shoe for that when you're jumping up and down, right? Fuck. So, anyways, not saying Mizunos aren't comfortable, but I mean, you got you got Boost, which is like walking on clouds, versus Mizuno, which is like a regular shoe. Regular shoe is like you know? So that's why you'd rather walk on clouds than walking on a regular shoe. So he's all like, look, I'll give it a try, but my feet hurt whenever I play with these Mizunos. So they're like, all right, we got you, fam. We're going to make you a special made Mizuno. So they made them this, like, I don't want to call it a high top. I say like maybe a mid top Mizunos. Because just recently they released high top Mizunos. For the most part, they've been all low tops. But they made him special Mizunos. And he's all like, nah, still don't like them. And then Mizuno's like, what do you want us to do? Like, there's literally nothing wrong. Excuse me. Literally nothing wrong with the shoes. And he's like, no, I'm just not gonna play with Mizuno's. So they kicked him off the team. They kicked him off the team. So he's not on. So he didn't play that league. I forgot where they ended up. Where the Italian league ended up. I think Brazil ended up winning the whole thing again. Was it Brazil? Fuck. God damn it. I don't think it was Brazil. Who won the whole thing? It wasn't USA. God damn it, USA. USA is one of my favorite teams. I got one of the jerseys over there. But yeah. I went on a tangent again, didn't I? God damn it. Sponsored sleeves. Yeah, so yeah. We're going to get back to the sponsored sleeves. I'm getting there, right? Don't worry about it. So he got kicked off the Italian team for wearing Adidas because he didn't want to wear Mizuno's, all right? So that's the dude. And then he got in trouble for, I guess he had a Red Bull. He's sponsored by Red Bull also. So he wears sleeves. I guess he used to wear sleeves, and they used to say Red Bull. Red Bull on the side. Big old Red Bull on the side. So they're like, yo, you can't play. So he's a freaking... volleyball isn't as big as NBA and all them, so I guess they really want to play everything as like goody. I don't want to call it goody two shoe. I don't want to call it strict, but it's not, I guess, as free as the NBA because it's not as big yet. We'll get to that later. So yeah, so they're like, yeah, you can't play with sponsored sleeves, this and that, and instead of going the J.R. Smith way, where, I'm just going to wear it anyways, where's the fine at? Here, pay the fine, He gets a tattoo. My man over here, they're like, oh, you can't wear the sleeve, You can't wear the sleeve. There's no sponsor sleeves allowed in the league, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, So you know what? He gets a fucking Red Bull tattoo across his arm, where it literally big old letters says Red Bull, and then right here is the bull, the logo, right there. So he found a loophole, that's a loophole on his arm. Is at Red Bull. So I found a loophole to the freaking sleeve dilemma. Like, all right, I'm not gonna wear a sponsored sleeve, but you can't do nothing about my tattoos. And he already had tattoos, like all up in here and stuff. We got another one over here. He already had tattoos. And then in the NBA, everyone has tattoos. So I found that kind of funny. Or fucking like, oh yeah, you don't want me to no sponsor sleeves? Okay, that's fine. Red Bull. That's fucking savage. And it doesn't look that bad. Like when I first heard about it, because I didn't see the picture, because when I first read about it, I just saw the headline and then I clicked on it and there wasn't a picture. I'm like, what the hell? And then I saw it a week later when he was playing. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. Where he was playing, and that's when I saw it. So, dude's a savage, by the way. Dude is a savage. So you can see it here. I'm gonna try to get the camera to focus on it. Red Bull. I got it in red too. The letters. I thought it was in black, but red, and then he got the logo. Got the freaking tattoo. Red Bull. Let's see if it can focus. I focused earlier. I'll figure out how to get on the video. Anyways, yeah. Red Bull. I swear, it's not the picture quality, it's the camera. It's focusing like on the outside of the phone. But you get the gist of it. That's what he did instead of freaking, because they told him he couldn't wear sponsored sleeves. Which honestly, it's fucking stupid that you can't wear sponsored sleeves. Like, my man over here is just trying to make a living, man. I know he's sponsored by Red Bull. I know he's sponsored by Adidas, and he's getting paid to play volleyball. It's just like a professional. He's a professional volleyball player, so he's getting paid, to play volleyball professionally in the Italian league. So, he's just trying to, just like everyone else has their endorsements, Nike, all this and that. I don't understand why you can't wear sponsored clothing. Like, what's it hurting? That, if J.R. Smith wants to wear a Supreme freaking thing, who cares? If LeBron James wants to wear a freaking LeBron headband, where you can tell him, oh, you can't wear a headband? What's the difference between a freaking sleeve and a headband? Like, come on. Let alone sponsored one. But, oh no, LeBron, you can't wear a Nike headband. Like, go ahead, tell LeBron he can't do something. Go ahead. Fuck. So yeah, so he found a loophole. I don't think I'd ever do that. Maybe I would. I don't know. Adidas, hit me up. Maybe show up next podcast with like the Adidas emblem right here. Adidas, hit me up. Adidas tattoo right here. I'll go to work sleeveless, even though it's cold as balls lately. Been cold as balls. Fucking global warming in Israel. No, sort of our fault, but not really. If you look at it, research it, and drop some knowledge on it. No, research it for real. Apparently, the Earth was already changing globally temperature-wise before we started burning all these fossil fuels and stuff. So how's it completely our fault? How's my car? Why do I have to get my car smogged? How's it my fault? Like if I don't get my car smogged, like oh my god, the world's gonna burn or freeze or whatever the hell is gonna happen. I guess we're coming off a mini ice age and something something something. Guess mini ice age, so global warming was gonna happen naturally, and it started happening naturally. Right before, way before, not way before, but a little before we started burning all these fossil fuels. But then it doesn't make sense, right? So you burn the fossil fuels, your car, what is it emitting? What am I emitting? Breathe in, breathe out. Was it carbon monoxide? I don't want to fucking know. God damn it, man. I should have researched this. I swear I'm not this stupid, alright? Not this stupid. I'm tired. I should have some alpha brain. On it. Sponsor this podcast. 3 episodes in, going strong. On it, sponsor this podcast so I get some alpha brain. Because I just ran out today. Just ran out of alpha brain. Took some earlier. So anyways, yeah. So what do plants need to grow, So that doesn't that make sense? Does that make sense or not? Like, okay, your car's emitting this thing that the plants use to make oxygen. So wouldn't that mean there'd be more plants? Wouldn't that mean the plants be CO2 in the air? Plants need CO2 to make oxygen. Blah, blah, blah. You guys need to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. What's his name? Randall Carlson. He has a couple on there, just Randall Carlson. Don't get me wrong, I like the ones with Graham Hancock, but I think Randall Carlson goes more into depth about global warming when he's just by himself. They talk more about like ancient civilizations when he's with Graham Hancock. So yeah, Joe Rogan podcast. Just what inspired me to make this podcast. Freaking Joe Rogan. And then, man, what was his name? Greg. Something. Man, I'm horrible with names too. They had a guy who's specializes in fungi and mushrooms, and it's crazy. His crazy hypothesis is that every living being came from mushrooms. That we all evolved, branched off of mushrooms. That's why when we eat mushrooms, I guess it helps our brain in some. You gotta listen to that podcast, man. That podcast is trippy. And then he made me buy not made me, but he severely influenced me to buy these pills that are concentrate of a certain mushroom that's legal. I got it at Vitamin Shop. I didn't know they had it. Vitamin Shop has Alpha Brain now. So go to Vitamin Shop, get some Alpha Brain. I'm not kidding. Go to fuck that shit. So what Alpha Brain does, what it does for me is it makes me focus more. It's not like Adderall. Don't get me wrong. I haven't tried Adderall, but it's not like Adderall. But I guess it makes me focus more because it makes my brain, like they say, it makes your brain rev up higher, which makes sense. But the way I describe it is, I'm more focused for a little bit longer. So instead of having like a 5-second attention span, I'd have like maybe an 8 or 10-second attention span. If that makes sense. Just think, it makes me think a little bit longer. It makes me do like anything brain related, any cognitive stuff. It makes me, otherwise when I would do it this much, I'd make it do this much. Yeah, that way. Where was I going with this? Fungi. We all came from fungi apparently, and I guess that's the future. Fungi, fungus, and everything. Yeah, just listen to the podcast, man. I'm not gonna freaking parrot what he said, but yeah, we got there from Red Bull sleeves, Red Bull tattoo, Red Bull. You know, if I do the same thing too, Red Bull. If you were giving me that Red Bull money, I like Red Bull. It's my drink of choice. However, Rockstar, if you're listening, I like the organic Rockstar. Have you guys tried the organic Rockstar? I know it's not healthy for you. I fucking know. Don't get me wrong. It's a freaking. At the end of the day, it's a sports drink. I know that. But organic Rockstar, it makes me. I guess it's a placebo effect. It makes you think that it's a little bit healthier. Organic Rockstar is pretty bomb. I like Rockstar because they like to. They're not afraid to mix up their flavor. Because when you think of energy drink, now I think of Red Bull. Like before, I used to think of Monster. But if I say energy drink, you'd either think of Red Bull or Monster, right? You wouldn't think of Rockstar. Wouldn't be your first freaking thought. It'd be like Red Bull Rock. Like if I'm like, oh, list 3, 5 freaking energy drinks, you'd be like Red Bull, Monster, or those would be like interchangeable, Monster, Red Bull, and Rockstar would be third. And I think they know that, so they're like, oh, we don't give a fuck. We're just like, we're happy here. We're happy here. We can do whatever we want. And that I like companies like that where they, they're not afraid to do what they want. So I don't know if you guys have tasted it. Rockstar horchata flavor. If you don't know what horchata is, it's a Mexican drink. I don't care if I'm offending anyone. I'm Mexican. It's a Mexican drink, and it's pretty much rice milk, and it tastes like milk with cinnamon. I personally don't like milk, but it tastes more like cinnamon. It's like cinnamon with milk. It's bomb. One of my favorite drinks. Like if I see it, I'm like, I need it. I need it. But you need to have the authentic one. There's one that's made with the powder, and it tastes like shit. But yeah, Rockstar horchata, and then they have the organic one, organic Rockstar, which doesn't taste that bad. It tastes pretty good. And then, however, if you're gonna try the organic one, try the strawberry one, strawberry organic. That shit's fire. Also try the horchata Rockstar. Not bad. Not gonna lie, not bad. Probably better than the powdered horchata that you get at a crappy restaurant. If you can now, however, I'm gonna warn you. They don't sell it everywhere. This horchata Rockstar. So you imagine they only sell it in kind of, shady spots. So you either gotta go to a Mexican store or you gotta go to shady gas station to find this horchata Rockstar. But you'll thank me later. I just noticed too they have a shitload of flavors for Rockstar. Because I noticed there was like 3 that I thought were the organic one. I'm like, oh shit, that's not the organic one. The organic one has, for some reason, it has like wood style instead of being black with the yellow freaking star. It's like the wood. It's brown wood, and then freaking the star, and then it's green on the bottom, and then the strawberry one that's like a pink on the bottom. But yeah, Rockstar, Red Bull. Red Bull's good though. They came up with the colored, whatever the color flavors are, the green, red, blue, purple. Green one's bomb. Purple one's bomb. I feel like I could taste Red Bull in my mouth right now. Red Bull, hit me up. But anyways, I forgot where I was going with this. It'll come back to me eventually, like an hour later. So yeah, Red Bull, blah blah blah. Speaking of blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah, food, right? So apparently Arby's bought Buffalo Wild Wings. I haven't tried Arby's because where I live there's no Arby's, but they always pass commercials of Arby's, and the closest Arby's to me is like about an hour 15 minutes away, and that Arby's has like 2 out of 5 stars, so I'm not going there. And then after that, I don't even know where the fuck the following Arby's is. So I don't know. I hate it when companies tease you like that. They advertise in your area, but they're not in your area. Like Arby's advertises in my area. Cece's Pizza. I don't even know what Cece's Pizza is. I don't even think it's even an hour away. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a protein shake. Yeah, Arby's, and apparently Arby's is buying Buffalo Wild Wings, which is freaking interesting. How the hell do you go from Arby's to Buffalo Wild Wings? Follow their Twitters. Arby's Twitter is pretty dope, especially if you like anime and manga and all that stuff, or video games and stuff. They do a lot of mashups, like freaking. I forgot who they had. Oh, Mega Man. They had Mega Man today. They had One Piece. They had a One Piece one, and that's what made me follow them because they had One Piece. And they do a lot of different stuff regarding anime and manga and for their social media. It's pretty dope. And Wendy's, because they don't give a fuck. You've probably seen Wendy's when they roast people and stuff. Like, oh, I'm at Burger King, Wendy's, what should I get? And then they're like, a refund. And, fucking Wendy's just like fucking around on social media. It's pretty dope. And apparently it's not one person. I guess it's a team effort, and they've been there forever, which is pretty cool. I like that when companies they have I guess they hire within. So it's like Wendy's, they didn't just hire someone to run their account. I guess there were people who are already working there, and they guess they kind of just like organically created it and made it what it is today. Follow Wendy's, or just type in Wendy's, Google Wendy's, freaking Twitter, and you'll see what I mean. They're pretty funny. They recently, if you don't know what Reddit, but they recently had a Reddit AMA. Reddit is pretty much like a forum place where it's the front page of the internet. Yeah, so they hold AMAs on Reddit with like celebrities and stuff, but they had the team there and they were asking them, and apparently it's like a group of members and they've been there forever. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna change Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings there, it's all right. So far, I think I've only had one bad experience there, and that was at a random Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't even know what city we were in. What city were we in? It's interesting. But yeah, the guy who was taking our order, he had a heavy accent. Couldn't even understand him. I'm like, bruh, what the fuck are you saying? Never brought me freaking my water. I hate it. Like, I felt like I was at Denny's, man. You guys know the old saying, you don't go to Denny's, you end up at Denny's. The only thing I hate about Denny's is when you end up there, every time I go, dude, they never give me a refill. It's Denny's, why? Just give me a refill and water. I feel like I have to bring my own water when I go there. And then at night, I was like, oh, we only have one chef, this and that. Like, every Denny's I go to at night, doesn't matter where I go, it feels like they always only have like one chef in the back. This one time, the chef was the waiter as well. So we're like, where the hell's the waiter at? Turns out he was cooking the food. And we were like a freaking table of 12 or something retarded like that. Shout out to that guy. Props to that guy. I can be a chef. Fuck that. I feel like once you either rush food or you make food for a catering, like the quality goes significantly down. Like if you need to get rush to get food, you're gonna cut some steps. The food quality, you're gonna have to like raising the heat cooks it faster, which doesn't make it taste as good. Cook slower. If you're gonna start getting into cooking slower, adds, it keeps the flavor. High and quick takes away the flavor. So that's why if you ever microwave something, put it for longer and then lower down the power level of the microwave. So what I've been doing is I've been putting everything twice as long and putting everything at 60% power, and it just comes out just right. Because there's sometimes where you put like 5 seconds too long on the microwave. You put 35 instead of 30 seconds, and all of a sudden you have to wait like 2 minutes for your food to cool down. Like, no, if you double it and then more or less half, or like lower it down by a significant amount, but I put mine at 60. Like double it and then put it at 60, so it cooks slower. Like when it comes out, you could practically eat it there. Like maybe wait a couple seconds, not a couple minutes. Just like literally, you're like, oh no, is it hot? Like no, I could eat this like almost right away, and it's good. So yeah, cooking tips. This is not a cooking channel, but cooking tips with a guy in front of a webcam. Don't worry about it. So yeah, so I don't know what's gonna change with Buffalo Wild Wings after Arby's, and I've never eaten at an Arby's, so I don't know what to expect. Other than I know that they have a good Twitter account. That's all I know. That's all I know about Arby's. I always wanted to try it. Yeah. Okay, now what's on the next topic? This episode brought to you by Red Bull. They just emailed me right now. I'm getting the tattoo next week. I'm just messing around. Speaking of food, I try to eat healthy, but I have a little. God damn it! I try to eat healthy, but not really. But sort of do. It's weird. All right. But what I wish I could do, which everyone kind of wishes they want to do, is they wish they could eat like a fat ass, and that's not. I'm not fat shaming anyone. It's just a way how I describe fat ass. It's just like you don't give a fuck, and then you just eat. Like if sometimes I wish I was a fat ass because I was scrolling down and I saw fillable donuts. So this place, they give you the donut. It looks like a regular sugar donut, which is my favorite donut, just a plain sugar donut, not the glaze. I kind of don't like the glaze. So for me, it's like the regular just sugar donut, especially when it's not fully cooked. And then when you bite into the center and it's still doughy on the inside, bam! So yeah, so I was scrolling this place that had those sugar donuts, and then they had the little, whatchamacallit, the thing to, like a syringe, so you could stab your donut and then insert the jelly, so it could be a jelly-filled donut. Like, bruh. I wish I could eat whatever I want and stay skinny. I used to be able to do that, but not anymore. I think once I turned like 20, my metabolism just started going down, so my metabolism started going down, and then I finally realized I was a fat ass because I had a '06 Subaru WRX TR. I forgot what color it was. It was like some weird gunmetal color. So I got sparkle seats on it. I didn't fit in the sparkle seats. Like my sides would be hitting the side of the sparkle seat. And I hated it. So that's what made me sell the car with the sparkle seats in it. But no, seriously, I sold the car. Anyways, that's what made me go on a diet. So this was I don't know how long ago this was. It was before I started listening to the Joe Rogan. I think this was like right when I first started listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and I didn't know anything about diet and this and that, but I pretty much sort of starved myself to lose weight. So for lunch, instead of going out to eat at McDonald's, which all I used to eat before this, when I used to be a fat ass, I used to eat at McDonald's all the time. Shit was bomb. Freaking either McChickens or Big Macs. McChickens, Big Macs for my shit. I still go to McDonald's every once in a while, get like 2 McChickens, 2 for $5. Oh no, 2 for $2.50 for the McChickens. 2 for $6 now for the Big Macs. They used to be 2 for $5, like the beginning of the year, and now they're 2 for $6. That's some bullshit, McDonald's. However, if you want to sponsor this podcast, get an M right here, yellow M. Have Ronald talk to me. What happened to Ronald, anyways? He's not in the advertising anymore. When was the last time you even heard of Ronald McDonald? You just think of him subconsciously now, just because he's just so ingrained, from previously. But man, they don't advertise him anymore. Where was I going with this? Being a fat ass. But yeah, God, sometimes I wish I was a fat ass. Like I'd just take a day and then just be a fat ass. Because there's a bunch of recipes I see online. Like mac and cheese, right? You can't fuck up mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is bomb. mac and cheese, and and then all these people just like incorporated in just like different dishes. No, it does not look healthy. Like, I don't know when the hell it started, but when you're going through Facebook and someone's cooking and they have the camera like right here, and then I'm too lazy to move, so I can show you. But yeah, where they show you like they're wearing like a chest or a head mount, and then they're cooking, and all you see is their hands and the bowls. Like, when the hell did that become a thing? That just like, it's so normal now that I can't even remember when the hell it first started. But you see a bunch of those, and most of those are like people being fat asses, and I like it. I like it so much, but I hate it at the same time because I don't want to eat it, because I know what'll happen. Because then I'd eat it again and again and again, and all of a sudden I'm 230 pounds again. 250. I think 250 was the highest I got. Right now I'm at like teeter-totting between 200 and 190 something. I think the skinniest I got was 187? 185. I think 185 was the skinniest I got. Yeah, but yeah, the fillable donuts. Man, it's just so much food. Oh, and then ice cream, bro. Oh, Pizookie. You guys been to BJ's? Pizookie? Bro, Oreo. Cookies and cream is my favorite. But yeah, Arby's buying Buffalo Wild Wings. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this podcast. We're about an hour in. Red Bull. Red Bull. Just saying. Got room right here, Red Bull, or I'll do the sleeve. Like Zaitsev, or Rockstar. Rockstar, man, you guys don't get much hype. When was the last time you heard, oh, this person is sponsored by Rockstar? No. Nate Shot is sponsored by Red Bull. This Zaitsev is sponsored by Red Bull. Blah, blah, blah. Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, When was the last time, Rockstar was sponsored anything, Let's think about it. I'll let you guys think about it. See you guys next time.